Welcome back to another episode of Pick of the Week, where I look back at the past week of hockey and discuss things that caught my attention. Let's get right into it. And I want to start off with the Philadelphia Flyers, who are absolutely on fire right now. They are currently on a 9-game win streak and are second in the Metropolitan Division, tied with the Capitals for points, but the Caps have one more regulation win and are therefore in first. But alright, the Flyers. They played 3 games this week and killed it, scoring 12 goals in those 3 games and only allowing 4 goals. And during their 9-game win streak, they've scored 37 goals, which is the most out of all the teams in the league during this run, and they've only allowed 17 goals, which is second best. They've been absolutely sensational and their team is just working. Travis Konechny is their top scorer during this 9-game run and their best point scorer over the entire season. He's having his real breakout season. He's been good in the last few years, but now he's really breaking out. 61 points in 64 games is really good. And during this run, he has 13 points in 9 games. But for me, their outstanding player during this run is Carter Hart. Are we sure he's just 21 years old? He's been incredible. As you can see, his stats during this run has been really good and his season totals are as well. And to be honest, I was a bit unsure about him during the start of the season because just like the Flyers, he did not have a good October at all. But since then, he's been really solid. And for me, these past years, the Flyers have always been a good team with players like Giroux, Voracek, Couturier, Provorov, and now Konechny has become a real top player as well. And there's always been potential with the Flyers, but they've always been let down by goaltending. But now, they have an absolute stud in net who's going to be their starter for years to come, and the Flyers can be a real force. And during this run, the Flyers have also won some really important matchups against division rivals. Back-to-back wins against the Blue Jackets and Rangers, winning against the Hurricanes and Capitals, and this has put them in a really good spot ahead of the playoffs, and they won their games convincingly as well. So look out for the Flyers in the playoffs. I think they will be really good. Moving on to the GM's meeting this week, and we got some interesting reports on that, especially a recommended change of the offside rule. So the GMs voted for a change of the offside rule, meaning that instead of having to have one skate on the ice like we have now, breaking the plane is enough. If you're unsure exactly what this means, this Reddit comment explains it very well. And I'm in favor of this change, but just like this Redditor says, there will still be some difficulties in reviewing if a play is offside or not. But if I'm being honest, I think the offside reviewing that can lead to a goal being overturned is quite odd. I get why it's there, and I'm a fan of the rules being enforced, but if a player is an inch offside 30 or 40 seconds before a goal, that doesn't really affect the goal whatsoever. I think in extreme cases like the infamous Duchesne goal where the refs should have seen the clear offside, we need reviews in situations like that, but for most cases it's a game of inches that doesn't really affect the game, and then this rule change wouldn't really solve anything. I remember when Jonathan Drouin was deemed offside in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Final in 2016. It was early in the game, it was tied and the score was 0-0, and the goal he scored to make it 1-0 was overturned and totally changed the game. Now you tell me, do you think he gained an unfair advantage with this offside here? I don't think he did. And I think we're still gonna have situations like this with this new proposed change, and one solution would be if each situation would be reviewed individually with the context of the goal, but then that would spark a whole different debate. How many seconds before the goal did the offside happen? Do you have an arbitrary number for that, like 10 seconds or 20 seconds? Did the offside player gain any advantage? And how do you measure that? It's such a mess, and I'm not really sure how to solve it. I think it's a step in the right direction, but I can also see a lot of problems with this. Moving on from that, let's talk about the Ottawa Senators and this whole situation with owner Eugene Melnyk and now fired CEO Jim Little. This is absolutely insane. Now this season hasn't been that bad for either the Senators or Eugene Melnyk. We knew they were going to be pretty bad, and the season has just been tugging along without any major issues. Until the recently hired CEO Jim Little was fired this week for what the Senators are calling conduct inconsistent with the core values of the team and the NHL. Basically what he did was that he was in a heated argument with owner Eugene Melnyk on Valentine's Day and swore at him, and this is what Jim Little claims was the reason of his firing. It's what he said in his statement, and we actually know now exactly what Jim Little said. Senator Chirp posted this quote, which comes from Elliot Friedman on Hockey Night in Canada, and it's, well, here it is. Little yelled at Eugene Melnyk for about 10 minutes and at one point said the best thing that could happen to the Ottawa Senators is if you disappeared for 12 months. And wow, I'm not surprised he got fired. Yelling like that at your boss for 10 minutes is a guarantee you'll get fired, and while it's probably not the best and most professional thing to do, I'm sure he was the voice of every Senators fan here. And I was watching Tim and Sid and heard Sid mention the existence of an alleged burner account on Twitter that belonged to Eugene Melnyk, and I got interested and I found the account thanks to good people on FH Boards. And maybe I'm late to the party, but I found this absolutely hilarious. If this account isn't Eugene Melnyk, it's a brilliant troll. And here are some of my favorite tweets. This one is absolutely golden. I truly feel sorry for our owner, constantly let down by people who he trusts. It's hard to find good people who appreciate the opportunity he gives. Bravo for taking such swift action, Mr. M. Hashtag Sens fans love that you set such high standards. Go Sens go. And if this isn't Melnyk, then whoever runs this account is hilarious and a really good actor. But a lot of people are claiming it to be Melnyk, and if it is, that's just wow. Your owner having a burner account to talk good about your team in times like these is, well, it's such a Senators thing. And I thought we weren't gonna have an Ottawa circus this season, but here we are. But that's gonna be it for today. Let me know what you thought about the topics in today's video, especially the new offside rule proposal. Would you change the offsides or just let it stay like it is today? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.